Good morning and welcome back, everyone. On today's show, we have got so much to talk about, including the success of the schedule changes that I made back on Wednesday, my day off and what happened. Also, a big birthday bash coming up tomorrow, game news, and more. So we've got a jam-packed episode coming of the Level 1 podcast. Happy Friday. Alrighty, happy Friday indeed, everyone. What's going on? Today is Friday, the 5th of April, 2024. I'm DSP, of course. Welcome to the show. I just want to preempt everything early. I'll be mentioning this over the course of the stream. Today, we do need to have a stream interruption around 2:30 p.m.-ish this afternoon. I have to suspend my gameplay of Elden Ring to take a brief break. There's going to be some alarm testing going on in my, facility here, my community, and I need to be available at 2:30 to have them come test alarms. This happens anytime you live in a multi-family home, meaning like I live in the middle of a big giant building and it's three families, one on my left, one on my right, and I'm smack dab in the middle. But we all have an alarm system that's supposed to go off. Let's say, for example, next door there was a fire in the kitchen. The alarm's supposed to go off to tell me so I know to get my family out of here just in case the fire spreads. So they test this a couple times a year, and it has to happen this afternoon. The good news is, thanks to all of the interesting improvements we've been doing, I can literally hit pause on my gameplay, take a break, go do this, come back 15 minutes later, hit record, and it just continues. I don't need to have like a split part or anything like that to do it because of all the new things we figured out with OBS and everything. So that's pretty cool. And it'll only affect the stream for a little bit. It's not a huge deal, but just throwing that out there. So that's around 2:30 p.m.-ish. So about 3 hours from now. If you guys do me a favor, if you could remind me around like 2:15 p.m. that has to happen, because you know me, when I get into something, I tend to forget. So rather than me getting shocked by the doorbell ringing, I'd rather be ready, if you could remind me. Anyway, so, wow, we got a lot to talk about today, don't we, folks? What a week it's been. What a crazy time we're having so far in April. And right now, we're in a situation where things are changing, shifting, adapting on the fly for good reason. If you weren't here on Wednesday, you missed a big, humongous change. So here's the deal. As of now, officially, the only RPG I'm going to be playing for the foreseeable future is Elden Ring. I have basically put on hold all other RPGs. The reason being, I've played too many of them, and people just have lost interest in them on this channel. I'm not saying that RPGs are not good games. In fact, RPGs are some of my favorite of all time. The problem is there's just too many of them at once in a short period of time. They're too long, they're too dragged out, and people are tired of them. When I play them, I get low attendance, low engagement, and low support, and people are telling me they want variety. So you're getting variety now, okay? The one RPG we're going to play is the one I have to play in order to prepare for the upcoming DLC in June, Elden Ring. Keep in mind, I could play it later, but if I play Elden Ring in May, then it's like playing the game in May, then immediately playing it in June, all back-to-back. It's going to feel like it's too much Elden Ring. So it's good to do it now, get as far as I can in the game, get ready for the DLC now, and then maybe take a little bit of a break, and it'll feel refreshing when we come back to it in, say, mid-June for the DLC, right? In fact, when exactly is the DLC? I'm just curious, because we're going to do a schedule update tomorrow, but it says it is 6/21, so June 21st. 3 weeks into June is when that DLC is coming out. Fair enough. Okay, so outside of that, no other RPGs. Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, everything's on hold. All right? I'm not saying we will never go back to these games, but I simply put cannot keep playing RPGs that no one's interested in at this point. We get such a small group showing up for them. And everyone's like, we're burnt out. You played RPGs since December. We've had enough. We want variety. So I'm now going to give you that variety. Starting back on Wednesday, I started up Helldivers 2. I played it for about 2 to 2.5 hours. I thought it was quite good. I haven't played enough of it to really get, make any real judgments or get good at it. I barely know what I'm doing in it right now. It's a game that I feel like the more I play, the better I'll get, and the better I'll get, the more I'll appreciate it, and the more I appreciate it, the more I'll want to play it and unlock and get addicted to it. It seems to be an addicting gameplay loop for sure, but we need to get to that point where I got my bearings. Right now, I definitely, within 2 hours, I had to do the tutorial, which took about, 20 minutes or so, and then just kind of jumping in and out of matches. My first match was a solo match, and then after that, I started joining randoms, and it was all over the place. Like, one match was good, and then after that, the game glitched out and I couldn't be revived. And then after that, we had a griefer who was killing me for literally no good reason. It just didn't make any sense. Everyone was scratching their head like, wow, that guy's got problems or something, because he's not doing anything effective by killing me over and over. He's just like a moron, like a mouth-drooling idiot. No point to doing it. And then after that, we had other matches where sometimes I would join relatively early on or start right at the beginning, and it was fun because we did the whole thing together. And then others I would drop in, and it was nearly over. So it's kind of a mix, and I did unlock a few things. I think I unlocked the shotgun, I unlocked a new grenade, just in that first initial session, and I kind of see where the gameplay loop is going, and I'm excited to play more. So yeah, it went well. Of course, attendance was great. We had over 700 people on the stream to see me check out Helldivers 2 for the first time, which is awesome, obviously. And then, people want to see me play it again. Well, we are going to be playing it again as soon as tomorrow. All right, and we'll talk about that when we get to the schedule in a second. But first change was very successful. The other change is tonight on the late stream, I'm bringing back Friday Night Fights, and I'm bringing back Street Fighter 6. It's going to be casual play tonight, being that I haven't played this game in 2.5 months, and I want to get readjusted to it, reacclimated to it, as they say, before I try to do anything serious in it. I think it'll be fun because I've got that, definitely got a craving again to play it. Once you play too much of something, you're kind of burnt out. Well, I got the craving again, the bug, as they say. So tonight I'll be probably using maybe Blanca, maybe I'll use Lily. I'll think about who I want to use. Maybe Dalsim, and we'll do casual play and have a good time. Get back into it, get back into the swing of things. I hope you'll join me for that tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. And Street Fighter will be in the schedule. It doesn't have to be all the time. It could be whenever I have night streams with not a lot going on and I want to just jump in again. The other cool thing is that there's a new character, Ed. I've never seen Ed at all, so I'll probably face him tonight for the first time and try to see what he's capable of and try to figure him out, right? He'll probably whoop my ass, but that's fine. So, anyway, so good stuff there coming up tonight. I hope you'll join me for that. So those are the two major changes to the schedule that we're doing right now, all right? So far, feedback seems to be great. People seem to be saying, yes, we want more Street Fighter back. This sounds like a good idea. Yes, Helldivers is a great idea. We've been asking you to play that for 2 months. All better ideas than just playing more lengthy, drawn-out, incredibly slow-paced RPGs. So that's what we're doing. Now, in addition to all of that, I'm going to be continuing on my Elden Ring second run, trying to finish up the game in the next month or so. We have a lot of content to get through, including the entire northeast of the map. That leads to the Moog's Underground Palace. There's 1 or 2 optional dungeons with really good endgame loot in them, including the true form of Astel, who I want to fight. We've also got the giants and stuff like that to fight near the end of the game. And then, of course, if I decide to do endgame in Haligtree, which we could do, we all have to decide what we want to do with this playthrough, right? The goal is to get to Moog's Blood Palace, which I think we could probably do in about a week or 2. I don't think it would take that much. If we just went beeline to it, we could probably get to it within a few streams. But, I want to take my time and do other content as well to get ready for this DLC. So, good stuff. I'm excited for that. Of course, we're continuing on and concluding Alone in the Dark this week. Alone in the Dark has been a surprise hit. I have loved this game. I'm 9 hours into it now. I think it's a superb survival horror game. It's got twists and turns, a great plot, a great atmosphere, good graphics. The one thing where it's lacking is the combat. The combat is just so-so. Everything else about the game is great. So, as long as you're not hyper-focused on the combat being the best survival horror combat you've ever seen, it's good. I mean, I don't even know why people would be, because survival horror games traditionally have clunky combat. Like, that's part of the experience to make it scarier. You don't feel like you're agile or you're responsive when you're trying to fight these monsters, and it makes it more dangerous and more suspenseful, right? I mean, it's always been like that for me as I've played survival horror. I can't imagine a survival horror game where you're, like, super agile, flying all over the place, responsive controls and shit. So, to me, it makes me scratch my head that so many people hated on this game and didn't like it. And when I say so many people, I mean reviewers, because I feel like most people just didn't buy it because reviewers panned it. I think the game is an outstanding survival horror game, one of the more refreshing ones I've played in years. I like it a lot, and I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to see how it ends. Okay? So, Elden Ring, Alone in the Dark, Helldivers 2, Street Fighter 6, those are the immediate things we're doing this week. And there's the potential that my wife will be doing a co-op with me this week as well. So we'll talk about the schedule in a second, but I just wanted to recap. This is the changes that I made on Wednesday. So far, people's response seems very positive. People are saying, this is a great mix. This is exactly the kind of thing we needed to see. We needed to see things get shaken up because the schedule you had was not working. It was boring every time we played an RPG, and we just want variety now. Get us away from these RPGs. So that's what I'm doing, okay? So I hope you'll tune in now. Now that I made these changes, I hope you'll tune in and hang out with me and support the streams because, you know, I'm doing exactly what you want at this point, and I'm happy with it too. Like already, I tell you, playing Helldivers was refreshing. I'm excited to play Street Fighter tonight. Elden Ring returning felt natural. So I'm excited for all of this, okay? Thank you very much for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about a little segment that I like to call Phil's Day Off. This is the segment where I talk about what I did on my day off yesterday. And what we'll do is we'll go in order. We'll talk about the day off. We'll talk about the schedule. We'll talk about my birthday event coming up tomorrow and what we have in store. Just listen to this. We went from having a completely uncertain birthday event to having so many fun options during the birthday event at this point that I'm happy and we can do whatever we want. It's going to be a great event. Okay? So here we go. Phil's Day Off. Yesterday, I did not stream. I was off. So what happened? First of all, if you may have noticed or not, I always have a ton of content coming out, even when I'm not around. And that's a good thing. For example, yesterday, the new part and final part of the week of the DSP versus the Internet show on my DSP Reacts channel went live. Also, the latest part of Final Fantasy XIII's remastered playthrough went live on the DSP Throwback channel. And a lot is going on the Throwback channel right now. Basically, we've gotten into the open world portion of Final Fantasy XIII, and the game completely changes here. It lost its whole feeling of on-rails, linear boringness, and now it's interesting because you're wandering an open world and all the enemies have become way more challenging. You start unlocking the Eidolons for the characters who don't have them yet. For those who don't know, those are the summoned monsters of Final Fantasy XIII. It's all really good. So I'm actually like enjoying these parts now as I watch them because it's something different every single time. I'm like, oh, refreshing. If only the whole game had been like that. Okay, so there's always content. Even when I'm not here, you could always check out my other channels and there's other content that's new, or you could just get caught up on the stuff on DSPGaming, okay? So, what did I actually do on my day off while all of you were probably enjoying those videos or doing your own thing? Well, unlike last week where I was running around doing a million things with my wife, this week we had a more laid-back week. I did the shopping for the things that I'm going to need for my birthday cake. And actually, are you ready for this? My wife decided to do something different this year. She's not making me a birthday cake. No, no birthday cake this year, everyone. I'm sorry. I know you guys are going to be really disappointed that there's no birthday cake tomorrow. Because she's making me delicious birthday brownies, which I'm totally happy with. I haven't had brownies. I couldn't even tell you the last time I had brownies. I don't remember. So she's going to make these brownies that are going to be a combination of like chocolate and fudge and cocoa with peanut butter, but also like peanuts as well on them. So it's going to have like a peanut butter frosting with peanut butters on top. Okay. So sounds good to me. I love it when she bakes for me. And this is, you know, a cool thing she's doing. She never did this recipe before, but it's all from scratch, by the way. It's not like we bought a box recipe of brownie mix and she's just going to toss that in there. She's doing it from scratch. She just looked up all the ingredients and she's going to make it herself. So I'm excited for this. We'll see how it turns out. So birthday brownies tomorrow. Very good. Hold on. I just got to ban an idiot. There we go. And so I got all the ingredients for that. What did we do yesterday? Well, outside of the usual things we do on our day off, like running errands, cleaning the house, doing that boring shit, my wife has started up a new game called Planet Coaster. So she is it's a theme park sim game. She's been really into sim games recently. You know, she played Power Wash Simulator, then she tried that house flipping game. So now she's trying this theme park simulator game. And it's pretty neat. It basically, from what I'm to understand, I guess, do you guys remember that game from a million years ago, Roller Coaster Tycoon? So apparently that game kind of faded away. But now this game, Planet Coaster, has kind of taken up the reins of what that game used to be. So she started playing it, and it's pretty fun. If you like this sim-style games or whatever, and you always wanted to run your own theme park, this is neat. It has everything you would think of. You know, you build the paths, you build the entrance and exits, you build the rides, and you price the rides out for how the people want. You put food and drink and bathrooms and trash cans and janitors and all kinds of workers, and then you can put all these different little visual attractions and things to look at. It's everything you would think of when you're running a theme park. And for the most part, it was very fun to watch. If you the biggest problem, and this is always the biggest problem, when you have a game that you absolutely know that this is made for PC, it's hard to control. You're trying to play it on a Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller. It's like, so how the hell do I get to the menu I need to, drag and move this around, rotate it to the right elevation? It's tough. There's a learning curve there for sure, and it takes a while to get used to handling it. But from what I've experienced, like a lot of games are like that. That anything that's PC centric, like some of these other games, for example, Age of Empires, or any of those games where you have to control a whole bunch of units. It's so hard to try to grab the units you want and get them to move the right way. And again, I'm someone who used to play PC games. I used to play games like that, and it's just, oh, mouse and keyboard, zoop, 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 super easy to do. But on console, it's like you got to translate that into a gamepad, and it's kind of tough, right? But outside of that challenge of the controls, seems like a pretty fun game. Yeah, I watched her play it yesterday, and she did a few different theme parks. There was one that was like pirate themed. And then she did one that I think was medieval fantasy themed, if I remember correctly. And I think that, like, playing through this game, you unlock different themes. I think another theme that she actually unlocked was, like, space age, like sci-fi. So she's enjoying it a lot. And, once you get through the campaign of this game, you learn everything of how to run it. And then what you could do is do the open campaign. Because first thing she tried to do, she goes, oh, let me do sandbox mode. She goes in, you don't know how to do anything. It's like, how the frick do I do this? Do I do that? How do I move this? You can't figure it out. You're like, I got to play the campaign first so I can at least learn the basics, and then I could jump back, into the game after that. So, that's what she did, and it was a good time watching her. The only frustrating thing is the controls, but good game overall. Seems like a pretty solid game and a fun game. Planet Coaster, I think it's called. Is it Planet Coaster? I think it was Planet Coaster, but anyway. Big shout out to RAC, who just gifted 5 memberships to the community. Whoever just got those memberships, I certainly hope that you enjoy. And thank you, RAC, for supporting the channel. What's weird is in the chat, it shows all 5 people who got them. But then over on my leaderboard, it only shows 3. Congrats to, let's see who got them. No Tango Dinero, Turtle Dude, Captain Boric, Crema de Coco, and Ventiezi. Congrats, everybody. And thank you so much, RAC, for supporting. I really appreciate that. This morning. As you know, I do shout outs at the end of the podcast, so I will get to everyone's contributions. I see there's tips coming in, there's super chats. I'll get to those at the end, okay? Cool. So anyway, that's pretty much what we did. We just kind of hung out, and she played some of that. And then for food, we ended up getting some Mediterranean food. We were actually looking for this restaurant we had ordered from like 6+ months ago. And we couldn't find it anymore. And it's just a case of maybe the restaurant doesn't exist anymore, So we ended up ordering from a different Mediterranean restaurant than we ever tried before, and we each got like I don't know if it's a shawarma plate or a gyros plate. I don't know how they pronounce it, but I got the chicken. She got the lamb beef combo. You know how they put the meat together? So all it is your meat on top of a bed of seasoned rice with a side salad, it's a Greek side salad style. The Greek dressing. Well, what would that be? Like the tzatziki sauce probably, but also some like feta cheese on it. And then we ordered some hummus, and they gave us pitas with the hummus. Super duper good. We haven't had it in many, many months, and delicious and filling and good tasting. So we had a good dinner of that last night. And that was really it, just a relaxing night after that. So, yeah, a good day, a basic day, nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary or anything like that during the day off, but a fun one. I would say a better one than a day where you're so hectic and you're just running all around. Now, to forewarn everyone, My next day off is Wednesday of next week, and that's weird because usually my day off is a Thursday. That means this streaming week coming up is a short one. You might say, why is it such a short one? It's because our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, is on Wednesday, and we want to spend the day together. We actually, you see how crazy this is? Just listen to this. We were married in 2019. Guess what happened the year after 2019? COVID. So immediately our first wedding anniversary where we wanted to do stuff, everything was closed. Wow. And then the next year, 2021, everything was partially open, but not really. So honestly, the first year we would have even had a chance to kind of celebrate our wedding anniversary was 2022. And by then we already had 3 years pass. And it almost became like, I know this is sad because it really is. It became a commonplace thing for us to kind of not really do anything, you know? And this year is our 5th wedding anniversary. And we're like, we got to do something. Even if it's we just spend the day together, we got to do something because this is ridiculous that essentially COVID took something that would have been a meaningful tradition for us and basically ruined it. So on Wednesday, we're spending the day together. What are we doing? We actually have no clue yet. All right. We haven't even figured it out. We want to get some kind of good food and we're thinking about what we want to do and stuff like that. We just want to have a nice day together. Okay. So with that being said, that means it's only a 5-day streaming week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So abridged week, but the week after will be much longer. Just so you know, it'll be like 7 straight days of streaming coming up after the fact. Okay? So I just want to throw that out there. The next Phil's day off is Wednesday, and then I'll be back on Thursday to get you all caught up on what's going on. Fair enough? Okay, now, that's the Phil's day off segment. Let's now do the schedule. All right, and now we can talk about all kinds of stuff, including everything coming up, my birthday tomorrow, and all of that. And then what I want to do, we do have a brief news segment today, and then we get to these shout-outs and go from there. Okay? By the way, thank you to Rico. He gifted a membership, and of all people, it went to RAC. So RAC gives 5 memberships to the channel, then someone gives a membership, and it goes to RAC. Cool. Thank you, Rico. Okay, so what's going on this week? A lot. There's a lot going on this week. Okay, today we are continuing on with Elden Ring, and as I said, I got back into it back on Tuesday. It went really well. It was fun to play. We're gonna go into the harder parts of the game now, the upper right-hand corner where all the frozen wastes and the tricky enemies. Lots of bosses up there. A couple dungeons, right? A couple dungeons to do. I think there's an optional dungeon to do. Of course, we eventually have to fight the big giant. What else? Eventually, we're going to get to Moog's Underground Palace from there. You know, I can't remember how to get to the Halley Tree. I think we do have to do the optional dungeon, the fort, to get the medal to get to the Halley Tree. Is that correct? I think we do. I think that's how you get the second piece of the medal if we want to do the Halley Tree. And I feel like we should, at the very least, even if we decide not to do the Halley Tree, at least I want to be able to unlock it. You know, does that make sense? So we could eventually do it if we want to, right? Because let's say I do the DLC, and in the DLC, there's like a really awesome weapon that we get, and I respec and I use it, and I love it. Maybe I want to go use that at the Halley Tree and try to take on Millennia with it, right? I think it would make sense. So anyway, we've got a lot to do. Today is just the start of that. We go back to the capital city, and we try to figure out how you leave the capital through that gate that now opens and head further northeast into the rest of the game and start exploring there and go for there. I'm sure you guys are going to help me. You know, I fully explored this entire game the first time around, but it's been 2 years. I'm going to forget all about it, like what to do. I'm sure you guys will help me to find all the meaningful stuff. The tricky part about the open world of Elden Ring is there's an insane amount of content, but lots of it isn't really meaningful for a build you're using. So when I played this again last year, I did skip a lot of the optional dungeons where I knew I wasn't going to get anything out of it because it wasn't for my magic build. But you guys helped me. You guided me to the ones that were more important. Okay, so please do today. You know, if you know, oh, don't skip that dungeon. That's going to have something you need for your, you know, your glintstone magician build or whatever. Please guide me to the right stuff, and hopefully it'll work out. Anyway, that's today's first stream. I'm excited to go into the frozen area of the game and go from there. Tonight on the late stream, I am very pumped for the return of Friday Night Fights and Street Fighter 6. I'm now craving it. I really am. Like 2.5 months away. Now I want to get back into the swing of things. I want to adjust and learn this Ed character so I know how to fight him. And of course, I guarantee you now, within the next month, Akuma will be coming out. Why do I say that? Because they're probably going to want to release Season 2 of Street Fighter 6. I would think around the summertime. Although that might be tricky because you got Evo. And Evo is in what? June? It's either, not June, excuse me, July or August. Evo is always in like July or August. So unless they're going to release season 2 right after Evo, it could be a situation where what if they release it in like June, but then everyone has to learn season 2 because Evo is season 2, right? That might be a weird situation, I guess. I guess we'll have to see what happens. But I definitely want to get back into it. I hope you guys will join me. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Friday Night Fights returns. Street Fighter 6 back into the rotation. Again, just to forewarn everyone, it's just going to be casual play. I'm not doing ranked play yet because I'm not ready for it. I need to get back reacclimated to the game so that I can, get all my timing down, my muscle memory back down, remembering how to play with these characters. Plus, I got to see Ed for the first time, figure that stuff out. Eventually, I probably will get back to ranked, but we'll see. Okay? Cool. All right, so that's tonight. Now, tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday, April 6th, it is my birthday bash marathon. There is a lot going on during this event now. Originally, we had no idea what we were doing. Now we got a million things going on because of the changes that I've done to my schedule. So, number one, first thing we're definitely doing, we're going to have a fun, birthday podcast. I'll probably talk about birthdays of the past, and we'll all have little discussions about that. And then we're going to jump right into the gaming schedule update. Now, just for the record, I'm going to be drinking. And in fact, yesterday on my day off, I bought some booze. So not only do I have the leftover Long Island iced tea that I had from the Super Bowl event 2 months ago, I also bought a mojito mix. Now, I haven't had mojitos in years. And I like mojitos. They're minty, but a little citrusy too. So I'll have some mojito. I'll have some Long Island iced tea during the day. I'll be able to have some nice drinks, and be nicely buzzed, I think, during the course of the day. That'll be fun. So the first thing we're going to do is a gaming schedule update. We're going to go through all of the release dates for the rest of the year and hammer in all the big ones that I'm most interested in so that we know exactly what games I want to play and get them into the schedule. Then what we can do is say, oh, well, in this month there's a ton, so we're kind of set, but this month there's a big opening or there's a bunch of openings. Maybe that's a month that we could go back and pick up a game, for example, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's now on hold. Maybe then we can resume it because there's no other RPGs going on during that time frame, and it would make more sense, right? So that'll be good, and that's the first thing we're going to do. I guarantee you that it'll take at least 45 minutes to an hour because it takes a long time to go through that, all right? Then, after that, we are free to do whatever we want. One thing we will absolutely be doing, all right, is food. I'm going to be ordering food during the day. It's going to be delivered, and we're going to have a Feasting with Phil episode together. Now, before people freak out, like I know BB Phil and a few others have been saying, what am I ordering? I don't know yet. I was speaking with my wife about this morning. Basically, we know we're not doing certain things. For example, we're not going to be doing Mexican food because we had that a few weeks ago. We're not going to be doing Mediterranean food because we had that yesterday. We're certainly not going to do ramen because we had that, I think, 2 weeks ago. And one of the things we're strongly considering getting on our day off next week for our anniversary is some sushi. So we're probably not going to get that. All right? But that only eliminates a few kinds of food out here. There's still tons of other things that are considerations, and we don't know what we're getting yet. Because people keep asking, what are you getting? What are you getting? What are you getting? We don't know yet. Okay? So when we figure that out, perhaps tomorrow morning, I'll share that with you. Because what we'd like to do is figure it out and maybe even order, ahead so it's scheduled out. That way we're not rushing to order in the morning or anything. So we'll think about it later tonight. And probably tomorrow morning when we start the stream, if we know by then, I'll let you know exactly what we've ordered. Okay? So that's going to happen. And that's usually, we get the food delivered between 4 and 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. So that's probably when the Feasting with Phil video will be. Okay? The only other thing that's 100% set is at the end of the night, the last thing we will do for this marathon is I'll have one of these delicious birthday brownies that my wife has made me to celebrate my 42nd birthday. Because yes, I'll be 42 years old as of tomorrow. So outside of that, what else could we do during this marathon? Well, just think of it this way. It's a chill day. We have potential to do whatever. You just want to hang out and talk and do some Q&A? We can do that. You want to see me play some games? We can do that. Do you want to do some fun reminiscing and watch back and react to my most viewed videos of all time on YouTube? We can do that. I've got it all set up, all right? And here's the deal. Number one, I made a playlist. 29 of my most viewed videos of all time in order from most viewed. So most of you might not even remember or know what's the most viewed video I ever made, right? You probably have no clue. Well, I have them all set up and ready to go All we got to do is hit play, and we can react, and we can hang out, and we can, have a good time. As you know, the retro react stuff has been doing good in the last couple of months on the DSP Throwback channel. This would be some awesome bonus content for that channel for the week if we do it. I think people might want to do it at some point during the marathon because it's good. It breaks stuff up. It's more relaxing to go back and watch stuff from the past and enjoy, right? So I think that would be neat. That's number one. Number two, since now I've changed up my schedule, we can now play multiplayer games. For example, do you want to see me play Helldivers 2 for the second time ever? We could do some Helldivers 2 tomorrow during my birthday marathon. Do you want to see me jump in and do some more Street Fighter 6? We could do that tomorrow. I'm totally down for anything like that, if that's what you guys want. So I hope that you guys will come by tomorrow and join me for my birthday bash event. Now, I'm not asking for anything, but I'm just saying, typically during these marathons, especially because this one's for my birthday, we're probably going to have a lot of attendees. Might be a great day if you were thinking of coming by and supporting this channel. If you wanted to give some memberships, tomorrow would probably be the best day to do it. In fact, I can tell you this. I will be gifting 10 memberships to the community tomorrow during the birthday event because I have 10 that I can give out for free. So I'll be doing that myself during the course of the birthday event. And I'm sure probably some others will be doing it as well to support the channel. So great opportunity. If you were thinking of trying to get a gifted membership as well, you probably want to be here tomorrow for the event. And of course, any other support that comes in, it is my birthday. It would be greatly appreciated. It's a good time now trying to get the momentum back on this channel, right? For 2.5 months, things were on a downward decline because I was playing so many RPGs and the views are down and the engagement is down. Now would be a great time to start to get that back because I've changed the schedule up, right? If I'm playing Helldivers or Street Fighter and we're reminiscing about the past with a throwback kind of react and having a good birthday, I think people will probably come by and maybe turn things around. I hope, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I think it should be a really good time. Okay? Cool. Now, on Sunday, it's React Day, meaning we're going to do the DSP versus the Internet clip show on my DSP Reacts channel. This is the channel where I basically watch clips that members of that channel submit for me to watch, and it could be any topic. I'm curious what people will submit for this weekend. I don't know yet. I haven't reviewed the clips, but usually it's a big variety of stuff. So let's see what happens with that. It should be fun. And then on Sunday night, okay, it's going to be DSP Throwback, that channel, and it's going to be a very special retro react. I'm reacting to something you guys were directly asking me for during my Heavy Rain react. The Walking Dead, the Telltale series, season 1, episode 1. I'm going to try to go through the entirety of that episode. It's 2 hours long. The only catch is, as you know, when I react to stuff, I tend to pause and talk. So it's probably going to be longer than 2 hours for me to get through it. It's 12 parts, but I'm going to try to get through it all in one sitting. Okay? That would be awesome to get through the entire episode 1 and then to have those videos to go live slowly over the course of the week, right? So I certainly hope that you will join me on Sunday night, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time on the DSP Throwback channel, youtube.com/@DSP Throwback for the premiere of The Walking Dead. This is one of my most awesome narrative-based playthroughs I've ever done. This game is the game that kind of opened my eyes that, wow, these narrative-based games can be more than just little frivolous experiences. This one is well-written, meaningful, has actual circumstances for your good or bad choices. People live or die. It changes the entire attitudes of characters. It's really well done. And this is the one that actually put Telltale Games on the map and made them a very prominent game development company. So I hope you will join me for that. That should be very special and fun on Sunday night. Okay? Now, Monday, I'm finishing Alone in the Dark. Okay? That'll be awesome. The finale of Alone in the Dark. I hope you'll join me for that. Monday's day stream. However, Monday night, there is no stream because I have to film private patron react videos for the month, and I think I have about 90 minutes to film. So I need the time to do it. So no late night stream on Monday night, but on Tuesday will be a full day of streaming. Tuesday's daytime stream will either be more Helldivers 2 or more Elden Ring. Maybe what I'll do is I'll ask you guys, what is it that you want? And I'll give it to you, whatever you want, on Tuesday of the two. Would you be craving more Elden Ring or more Helldivers 2? Now, Tuesday night, if my wife is up to it, which we're talking about right now and we're planning out, we're going to start our co-op playthrough of Beyond Two Souls together, where we'll both be here. She's playing the game for the first time ever. She'll be in control of the game. making the important choices. But I'll be here to do co-commentary and maybe help her, maybe make the choices for the supernatural character Aiden, who's part of it. But I'll also kind of be piloting the ship here with the chat and all of that. It should be neat. You know, it's the first time she's ever seen or played the game, and she's always wanted to play it. It's the one Quantic Dream game. Well, I take it back. It's the more modern Quantic Dream game she doesn't know about, okay? So, I hope you will join me for that, possibly Tuesday night. If that doesn't happen for whatever reason, because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, we'll probably do another session of Street Fighter 6 instead, okay? So, either way, you're going to get what you want. And then I'm off from streaming on Wednesday to celebrate my wedding anniversary. But Thursday, whatever I didn't do on Tuesday. So let's say we played Elden Ring on Tuesday, then we'll do Helldivers on Thursday. But let's say that we did Helldivers on Tuesday, then we'll do Elden Ring on Thursday. Okay? I think that works. Excuse me. So, yeah, there you go. Now, there's possibility of other things. We could do another random Battlefront stream one night this week, and I think I will. Only because when I played it, it was such silly, ridiculous fun. And it doesn't really work, but it's a fun opportunity for us to hang out and me to be silly. And it really worked last week. So probably not this week coming, but maybe the week after. We'll throw a Battlefront stream in there just for variety purposes. Okay? And then we'll play it by ear, because here's the thing. Once Alone in the Dark is done, all right? Now we have potential to do whatever we want with like another night stream. It's like, do we want to start another game? Do we want to resume a game? Do we want to do something different? We can figure it out. But let's get through this week first. Let's get into April. And, of course, let's do the gaming schedule update tomorrow. Because once I know the exact dates of everything coming out soon, that's definitely going to help me to judge, hey, do I want to start something new? Do I want to wait because there's something new's coming out that I'm interested in? And we could go from there. Okay? So, what a freaking week. We've got Elden Ring. We've got the return of Street Fighter. We've got Helldivers 2. We've got an awesome birthday marathon coming up tomorrow. We got special throwback events coming, the conclusion of Alone in the Dark, and possibly co-op with my wife, all in a 5-day week. If that's not variety, I don't know what is. I don't know how anyone could possibly complain that they're bored with that schedule. That's just so much. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. And by the way, thanks again. People are contributing. Turtle Dude says it would be cool if you did a more modern retro game, like Splinter Cell or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. We'll look into it. Basically, what we'll do, let's get through this week. And then when we get to next week, when the schedule is starting to open up a bit, let's sit back and look at the options. Okay? Sweet. All right. So that is the schedule. I hope to see you all tomorrow for the birthday event. I think it's going to be special. All right? All right. Outside of that, news. Oh, yeah. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, and everyone's favorite segment here on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DSP News. Well, I told you, this is a jam-packed podcast. Always when I come back from break, I usually have a ton to talk about. Well, I have a ton to talk about today. First off, the new Game Pass games for this month. I wanted to talk about these a few days ago, and I forgot. Here's what's coming out. First of all, 2 days ago, Lego 2K Drive came out. For those who don't remember, Lego actually made a car game. Yes, I know it's weird because it is. It sounds weird, and it is weird. But it's on Game Pass now, which leads me to believe that basically didn't sell very well. Because usually Lego games do decently, so why would they have this game on Game Pass all of a sudden? I get the feeling that it probably didn't do so well last year, and so now they're tossing it onto Game Pass. As of yesterday, Lil Gator Game, sure, and EA Sports PGA Tour both went on to Game Pass, okay? There you go. On the 9th, so that's coming up in a few days here, Kona and Botany Manor. Okay? For those who never played it, on April 11th, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. So this is the last one in the trilogy. First there was Tomb Raider, then there was Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then the conclusion, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So this is the last in the trilogy. And that's on the 11th. And then lastly, on the 16th, Harold Halibut. One of my favorite games of all time, of course, as you know. I don't know what the hell it is, but there you go. Harold Halibut. Some more information has been released about the upcoming game Stalker 2. Are you ready for this? Basic information. The game will have a huge story with 100 plus hours of narrative content and 4 different endings. It'll officially have mod support, 30 plus weapons with deep customization factors, and it's day one on Game Pass releasing on September 5th, 2024. So I'm just going to make this abundantly clear up front. Would I try the game? Yes, it's on Game Pass. Am I going to actually play through the entirety of this game? Incredibly unlikely. It has over 100 hours of narrative-based combat. And the last time that I played a 100-hour game, it was called Baldur's Gate 3, and it killed this channel for 2.5 months because I put so much time into it, I lost a lot of my audience. I am not doing that again in any way, shape, or form anytime soon. I don't even care that this is a completely different style of game. Just in general, 100+ hour games don't work on DSPGaming. I already made this statement when I finished Baldur's Gate 3. I said I'm probably not playing a lengthy game like this for a very, very long time. So I'm not saying I wouldn't give it a shot. Like I said, it's free on Game Pass. I mean, I have Game Pass. I love Game Pass. I don't see why I wouldn't try it. I mean, even if I like it a bit, maybe I would play it for a while. But it's insanely unlikely you're going to see me invest 100 hours. The good news is, because this is a Game Pass game, it means I don't have any investment in it. I could play it for 10, 15, 20 hours. And if I get bored of it, we can just say, okay, that was enough. And we can move on to other games. And I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to feel like I wasted money. I can just say, all right, that's fine. So I think that's how I'm going to approach it. I'll probably try it, but I probably won't beat it. Okay? And I'm just going to let that be known for other games moving forward. Any game that's 60, 80, 100-hour games. I'm not going to approach it with the mindset that I'm committing to beat it, because it's just too much. It literally kills the channel when I do that. Too much. So there you have it. Okay? There you go. Haley, you are absolutely in-fucking correct. And if you ever say something like that again, I will ban you from the chat. They said, Baldur's Gate 3 carried this channel for these months. Like a Dragon is what killed it. Like a Dragon was played like 2 to 3 times a week on a late stream when already we have low attendance. Baldur's Gate 3 was what killed the viewership on this channel. No one was watching the videos on demand whatsoever, and it was a small group of very big fans of it that were supporting the streams, but it killed the viewership on this channel overall. This channel has been down for 3 months. Don't ever fucking lie again because you're fanboying out about Baldur's Gate 3. The facts are the fucking facts. All right? Cut the shit. People are just so one-track minded because they think, oh, well, people came in and tipped during your streams. Yes, but overall, this channel has suffered. It lost about 1/3 of its ongoing viewership. I want to repeat that. 1/3 of the people who used to come to this channel to watch me play games left during the months of January, February, and March when I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 because they didn't care about the game, and it was the one thing that I was majorly playing more than anything else. They just dipped. And I'm waiting for them and hoping they're going to come back as I'm doing variety again. You understand? I can't have a channel be a 140-hour endeavor and lose 1/3 of my audience because people are bored. All right? So we can now cut the shit and stop, sugarcoating it. That's what happened. I wasn't playing Like a Dragon for 12 hours a week. I was playing it for like 4 hours a week. So you're full of it. And I'm tired of this whole straw manning and scapegoating shit needs to stop. Of people trying to blame a game that literally had nothing to do with it. It 100% was Baldur's Gate 3. Now, that doesn't mean the game is bad. That means it doesn't fit my format, as I said when I skipped it in September of last year. That's also why, as I approach a game like Stalker 2, I'm telling you, I am absolutely not committing to doing a full playthrough. I will try it out. It's on Game Pass. But if we get tired of it, if I see that there's a negative pattern on this channel, I'm going to stop playing it. And we're going to move on and do other things. Okay? Fair enough. And if you lie about it and try to scapegoat it and straw man it and make up bullshit, you won't be in my chat anymore because I hate people who want to fucking try to do that shit because they don't want to fess up to fucking reality. All right? Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game. It doesn't work for everyone. It certainly did not work for my audience. Okay? Okay, goodbye to this person. I've had enough. I'm just not going to say nothing anymore. I'm just going to ban these people outright. Okay. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Get rid of the morons. That way I can focus on the rest of my show. Okay. Good. Continuing on. Important information and newsflash for those of you who are fans of Nintendo. Sadly, the time has finally come. Both the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U have officially reached the end of their own life cycles. On Monday, April 8th, as previously announced, at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, all online connectivity of these consoles will be ceased. You will no longer be able to play any games online whatsoever. All right? So, just to forewarn you, if there's any last-minute things you want to do online, you want to say goodbye to an online community that you've played with for the past decade or so, now is the time. You got to do it this weekend, because as of Monday, it's gone. All right? Nintendo, very happy to say goodbye. We don't need them. Posterity purposes. What the hell does that mean? We're the great Nintendo. We crush you under our feet. Anyway, a lot of people are upset about this, rightly so. This is what happens when you have games that are online based, right? I mean, just think about it. Let's say you're a collector and you collect classic games and then you go to play a game. Oh, no online component anymore. I mean, like, for example, a game like the Mario Kart that was on the DS. It's pretty much going to be just single player. That's it. You can't do anything else unless you have someone else who owns it and you do it local Wi-Fi or whatever. You'll never play it against someone online. And that's completely different from the intended experience. That game is primarily online play. You'll never play it online. It's just gone. Erased. Right? It's kind of messed up, actually, when you think about it. So maybe there's works around it. Like I've heard some people saying that there's already mod workarounds that people are trying to figure out to still have servers and things for these games. It won't be a lot, but at least it'll be something. But FYI, last chance, guys, all right? Last weekend to play those online. All right. And last but certainly not least, I don't know how many of you care about this, honestly, but I'll talk about it anyway. Strong rumors that this year, notably, during the summertime, maybe Summer Game Fest, we are finally going to get information about Gears of War 6. It's been a long time. Do you remember Gears of War 5? That was many years ago at this point. You gotta wonder, what the hell has Coalition been doing? I mean, that's their bread and butter. That's the games that they make, and I don't know. You know, a lot of people say Gears fell off. I tend to agree. Gears of War at one point was one of the more prominent game franchises out there, when it was under, you know, the umbrella of Epic Games. And then it got sold off. And now it's in the hands of this other group, Coalition. Some people think they've been great. Some people think they're horrible. I'm kind of middle of the road. Like, I don't hate the games, but I'm also not in love with them. I think that they're okay. They have some pretty good visuals, though. And so we're finally going to get our information about Gear 6 supposedly this summer. Been so long since the last one. Again, you gotta wonder, right? Like, what exactly are we going to be hearing about it? Is it some groundbreaking experience or whatever? If they took this long, I don't know. All right, so that's pretty much the game news for today. Nothing too crazy, but there was a good variety of stuff there, right? And I want to say thanks for tuning in. That's all my segments, but we've got a significant amount of shout-outs to do this morning. I think we're going to transition into that as the next segment. Okay, and so that begins now. Let's get the shout-outs. Let's start on the YouTube side of things. Thank you all for the very early support already. You know, just coming back from break and having this much support is great. We start with the No Tango Dinero with the first super chat of the week and says, another Friday party with the boys. I guess so. We're going to have a good time today on stream, right? We're going to have a good time together, so thank you very much. Let's continue on. BB Phil. Oh, thank you, Ponage101, for moderating. BB Phil with a super chat says, I'm excited for Street Fighter. Maybe we'll have time to talk about the old days, how you were able to beat all the legends like Justin Wong and Seth Killian. Nobody's going to turn into my Street Fighter 6 stream to hear me talk about beating Justin Wong and Seth Killian in the mid-2000s. I'm just saying. I don't think anyone really cares about that, but sure. Ask me about those tonight. Jace Kissed Soap did a super chat. Don't know what that name means. Birthday-themed paper plates. No, I will not have birthday-themed paper plates tomorrow. I already shouted out RAC for gifting the memberships earlier, and I also shouted out Rico for gifting memberships earlier, so thank you to both of you guys for supporting the channel. BB did a super chat, BB Phil, that is. His late stream starts at 3:45 a.m. for me, but I'll try my best. It is what it is. If you live in Europe, let's think about that. If my stream starts 6:45 p.m., 7 hours. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, you're not even in, like, England. You're, like, further east, right? Like, you're way over there in Eastern Europe, right? Well, BB Phil, if you can't make it, it's all good. Remember, that's the reason why I archive all of my content. I split it up. I title it properly. I put it into appropriate playlists. I've already got a new playlist set up for Street Fighter 6 gameplay for this month. You know, it calls the Return to Street Fighter 6, April 2024 Online MP. So I hope that you guys will join me for that tonight if you can make it. Okay? BB Phil did another super chat. It says you should do a huge mega goal tomorrow. Tie incoming. You know, a few years ago, I would say, you know, 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, when I first was becoming a full-time live streamer, and when things financially were a lot worse than they are now, I used to do that. I used to do a marathon, and the marathon essentially would be a fundraiser. And we'd have a big goal. Can we reach $1,000 total raised today? And if we do, woohoo, and we'll do a celebratory thing and this and that. And, you know, number one, I got a lot of flack for doing it. A lot of people were like, you know, you're supposed to be a content creator. You're not a fundraiser. This is not like, you know, oh my God, someone in your family just got diagnosed with with something horrible and you're raising funds to pay for their medical treatment, which would be an appropriate reason to be doing fundraisers like that. This is just like you're trying to fundraise to do basic paying your bills and shit. People got pretty upset about that. I even remember when Jasper Kitty was first introduced to the streams in 2019. All I said to everyone was, if we hit a certain financial goal on a stream, I'm going to introduce something that'll be a cool, positive thing moving forward on streams. And we hit it, and then I revealed Jasper, and people were like, so you made people pay $1,000 to see a cat? And I was like, well, no, that wasn't the point. The point was you supported the channel. I needed the help. You know, back then, again, I was going through awful financial stuff. I was heading into a bankruptcy. And I was like, that was the point, is that you support me, and then I'll do something nice, like show my cat on stream, and he'll be part of the streams moving forward every once in a while. But instead, people are like, oh, so we had to pay $1,000 to see a cat. And I was like, that's not even what it was. It's not like I advertised it like that. I never did. But people acted like I did. Whatever. Anyway, so over the years, we have had marathon events where this was the thing. I would have like a giant goal to raise during the event. Today, it's this simple. I don't even have a qualifying event for this stuff anymore. Remember, it used to be, oh, hit a certain amount of members in a month, or a certain amount of subs over on Twitch in a month, and then we'll do a marathon. I just do it. We basically, we totally threw all that out last year. Remember? Basically what happened was so much negativity and people always saying you're all about the money and stuff. And I said, well, forget it then. Let's change it all. If I'm going to do a marathon, we'll just do a marathon just for fun. Just to break things up, to have something fresh and different. And then we'll plan for the marathon over a period of time. We'll work out together what we want to do for them. And, you know, if people want to come by and support the marathon, they can. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. Some marathons do way better than others. You know, traditionally, like a Christmas marathon or a birthday marathon usually does good. I just did a Super Bowl marathon in February. It was as if I had just done a normal streaming day. And it's fine. It's perfectly fine. If people feel that, you know, they like the content, they like me, they want to support the stuff, they can. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. I'm not going to sit here acting like the only reason that I'm on stream is to make money. I'm not. I mean, I'm here to have fun with you guys. Notably, that's what I want to do. That's why when people say, I don't understand, you kept playing certain games and they just didn't make you any money. I don't get it, because I'm not here to make money. I'm here to show my passion for games. And then my mentality is, if I'm having a good time, and that's coming through in the stream, if you're having a good time and you're enjoying that content, it goes hand in hand, and now we have a reciprocation of enjoyment, and you might be like, well, I want that to continue. I like this guy, and then you'll support the stream. That's how it works. It's not me sitting here with a bar that I'm trying to fill during a marathon. Oh, I need to raise this amount and all of that. You know, I very rarely did anything like that, and I don't want to do that anymore. Okay? So, there you go. We're not doing it. I understand why you might think, oh, that's just a normal thing people do, because they do. There's tons of content creators who do those kind of marathons. What do they call it? The subathon or the membership drive, where they have a big goal of funding they want to hit during a marathon. And if they hit it, then they'll do something like buy a new piece of equipment. I don't do any of that. I don't. We're not even going to go there. Just, hey, come by tomorrow, have fun. If you like what you see, please support it. But I'm not going to sit here and have a goal and a drive or anything like that. Okay? Okay. William did a super chat. He says, would you be returning to Tekken 8 ever or Street Fighter 6? William, we're playing Street Fighter 6 tonight. That's the late stream. Tomorrow we might play it during the marathon. I mean, I already said all this. I guess you must have showed up late, huh? And that's okay if you did. Tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's the return of Friday Night Fights Street Fighter 6. First time in 2.5 months. Okay? Cool. And then No Tango Dinero did a super chat and says, thank you, RAC. I love this community. All right, excellent. So again, thank you, RAC, for those gifted memberships. No Tango Dinero was very grateful. Thank you, No Tango Dinero, for the super chat. Shit. If you don't have Dinero, I don't know how you were able to do that super chat. So maybe you have kind of a misleading name. Okay. Continuing on here. First tip of the day is a $20 tip from Rocky. Let's see what Rocky has to say today. Hold on. The page will load. Okay. Let's get Rocky on the leaderboard. Oh, crap. What did I just do? Whoopsie. Okay. Rocky says, happy Friday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to join your birthday party tomorrow. I wanted to stop in to wish you a happy early birthday and do contribute. So here's to another fun year of chill streaming. Thank you very much, Rocky. It's very nice of you. I appreciate that. And BB Phil did a $20.01 tip. Awesome. Thank you, BB Phil, for that. Is that on the... Is that... Yes, okay. My animations are working. So now BB Phil immediately knocks Rocky off the leaderboard. Oops. Okay. BB Phil says, I told some of my employees about Phil's feast today. I don't think they understood. I bought loads of different beverages. I'll be fine with pairing the correct beverage with whatever we're having. What do you think of Jagermeister? That's what I'll do in matching you for shots. Well, number one, I don't know if I'm going to be taking shots. Like I said, I got Long Island iced tea, and I also have a mojito mix that I might be drinking slowly over the course of tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to be doing straight shots and getting wasted or anything like that. But as for Jagermeister, you know, it's weird because I remember the first time I ever tried Jagermeister, I thought it tasted sweet, but then it has this weird aftertaste that almost makes it taste like a cough medicine, right? But if you drink it more, then it starts to taste more syrupy almost. And then basically, it doesn't bother you anymore, right? So it's kind of like the first tasting, you're like, what? Yeah. But then if you drink more of it, it's all right. You know what's weird? I swear to God, this is what I was told, and I know this is bullshit. So the first time I ever had Jagermeister, you know, it has a picture of a deer on the front. And one of my friends asked, why does it have a deer on the front? And my other friend said, oh, because Jagermeister has deer blood in it. I'm thinking to myself, what? Do people really believe that? That they put deer blood in the liquor? Do you really think that they're just draining deer's blood to put into this alcohol? I'm pretty sure this is not true. Maybe this is one of those things like at one point, 100 years ago, when they first created Jagermeister, maybe they did actually put deer blood in it or something like that, right? But likely they don't do that anymore. Do you really think it's safe to put blood into there? Of course not. They're not going to do that and mass produce it. So, you know what it's like? It's kind of like how they used to say Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it. That's actually true. Coca-Cola did used to have cocaine in it like 100 years ago, and that hasn't been for like 100 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird urban legend that just persists. But anyway, Um. Anyway. Yeah, Jagermeister does not have deer blood in it. It tastes weird to me. I haven't had it since the 2000s, like probably the mid 2000s, when I lived in that apartment with 2 other coworkers, and we had parties. We had people coming over doing shots, and we had some Jaeger. That's probably the last time I ever had Jaeger. And I really haven't had a desire to ever buy Jagermeister again since then either. Like, it's not something that appeals to me. So, okay. Han Solo 989 re-upped the membership for 2 months and says the dab emote for Blastoise. I don't know why he's dabbing. Oh, I'm sorry. I did the dab completely wrong. It's like, it's really stupid. The dab is so outdated by like a decade now, right? But anyway, I don't know why he's dabbing for Blastoise, but he is. So Blastoise, I hope you enjoyed that dab. There you go. Thank you. By the way, we are almost to the 3-year anniversary of me going full-time on YouTube again. Remember, for many years there, I was half and half, meaning I was basically streaming all day on Twitch, and then I would upload the archives to YouTube. And sadly, I hate to say it, this is really where this YouTube channel fell off. Because before then, I had lots of great views and everything on my videos on YouTube. But basically, because I put all my efforts towards Twitch, I gave up on YouTube for a while because I was so frustrated. The channel fell into disrepair. It did. I say from the years of like late 2016, early 2017, all the way through 2021. This channel was just an archive channel where all I did was upload the archives of the streams, and I didn't care about any other content. You know, now take a look at all the stuff I'm doing. I'm doing all kinds of interesting shows. For example, restoring the playthroughs for posterity purposes over on DSP Throwback. Sometimes I do review series. In fact, this is something I should bring up. Are you guys aware that the Fallout TV show comes out next week? April 11th. And I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to review it for DSP Reacts. I've just kind of got so caught up in so many things going on this year, I forgot about this, but I was always planning on watching and reviewing that series, and I'm going to do that for you over on DSP Reacts. It comes out next week on Amazon Video. Yeah. Or Prime Video, or whatever it's called. So that is something special that I'll be doing for the DSP Reacts channel. Okay? So that's what I mean. Like, right, the first review since Christmas. I haven't done any Christmas reviews at all. Or I haven't done any reviews since Christmas because I've been so busy with other shit. So we'll see. We'll see how the show is. I'm going to be honest in my review. You know, I will. 100%. I will be honest in my review of it. If I like it, if I don't, if I feel like it's in line with the Fallout lore, if I feel like it's something different that's more Hollywood-esque, that's not as good, I'll let you know. Okay? So that's coming up. But yeah, like, basically, during those years of 2016 to 2021, I was so focused on Twitch streaming, I just gave up on YouTube. Now, for 3 years, full force, I've been back, and now this year, of course, you're seeing all kinds of content on 3 different channels. So I hope you like that stuff, and some people will be hitting their 3-year anniversary here as a member on DSPGaming very soon. I think it's within 30 days. I think it was early May of 2021 when I came over. So some of you may be seeing the new Diamond Crown in the chat from the longest running supporters. I really, really appreciate that. That'd be awesome. Okay. Okay. But let's see here. There was another super chat. I missed it. From Covenant Lazarus. What a name. What is your opinion on GamerGate 2? I don't even know officially what GamerGate 2 is. So I can't comment on it. I know about different controversies going on. There's that weird Sweet Baby Inc. thing. There's very leftist journalists going to war with certain gamers and stuff like that. As you know, I tend to stay away from politics. So therefore, I haven't really delved into it or talked about it because I don't really care anyway. I think it's really stupid. But I don't know if that's even GamerGate 2 or if there's something else going on I'm not aware of. Also, Ethan Ralph claims to be allied with you. Is that true? I don't know who Ethan Ralph is. Yeah, I hear his name very casually in my chat every once in a while. Someone says the name, and I'm like, hey, you know. I don't know who that is. I don't know who they are or what they do. I've never spoken with them. I have no intention of ever speaking with them. The answer is no, it's not true. I don't know who the fuck that is. There you go. Okay. I received a $10 tip from Rocky. He says, BB got me there. Anyways, happy birthday early again. Let's go to tier 1 for today. Awesome. Thank you very much, Rocky, with another $10 tip. And indeed, that will get us to the tier 1 tips goal for today's stream, which means it is Gunner Glasses time. Hold on. Need my glasses. Much better. Cool. Very good. Thank you so much for your support. All right, continuing on. I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. He says, hi, Phil. It seems you have made the right decision with Helldivers 2. I agree. Doing something that people have asked for months and I ignored because I was in RPG overload. And finally listening and trying it out seems to be fun. Hopefully the enthusiasm continues. I had my doubts starting another RPG at this time. Maybe you ought to research certain games more before you make up your mind. If you did that, maybe Helldivers 2 would have seemed a more likely choice sooner. You should watch the Stalker 2 trailer. It looks quite good. You'll see a familiar-looking face from a recent RPG. Maybe it's a sign that you should play this game. Well, I already said I'm going to play it. I literally already said that earlier today. I guess you just showed up, 1 Minute Man. It's going to be on Game Pass, so I'm going to check it out. However, I'm not committing to finishing it. It's more, I'll check it out. Right? So there you go. I love this. Here's what I love about my haters, is that they completely make shit up because it's their own revisionist history. This guy, Roberto, he did a super chat. He's already banned. He says, oh, last year you did a whole stream where you were shopping for a TV live on stream so people would buy it for you. No. I was on stream shopping for a TV because I needed a new one right away because mine died. And I wanted advice on what TV to get. And a lot of people gave me advice. And I bought it with my own money, but it just so happened a few people decided to donate during the stream to help pay for it. So, you're wrong. You're an asshole. You're an idiot. You lie to make shit up and skew the truth for your own little revisionist history for your circle-jerking losers. Go fuck yourself. Enjoy your ban. But thanks for the super chat. Okay, cool. But anyway, yes, so getting back to the subject because I got derailed. 1 Minute Man, I am going to be checking out Stalker 2 because it's a Game Pass game, but I'm not committing to playing it long-term at all. I'm going to basically check it out, and if we like it, I'll play more of it, but considering they're saying it's a 100-hour-long game, I'm not getting into another Baldur's Gate 3 situation. I'll play it for a bit, and once it gets played out or whatever, I'm not against dropping it. I'm not. I can't be locked into a playthrough for 3-4 months. That kills the channel. So we'll see what happens, but I'll at least give it a shot. It's a Game Pass. It makes sense to check it out and see what it is. BB Phil says, I live in Germany. The good thing is I can catch the podcast without any issue. It's 8 p.m. for me. Okay, so you're 8 hours ahead of me. Gotcha. Makes sense. Cool. All right, guys. Since I had so much to talk about today, now it's time to hang out and do a little bit of Q&A or whatever you guys want to talk about. Please tag me in the chat if you have a topic you'd like to discuss on the show. And then we'll move into Elden Ring, into the frozen wastes of the north, right? The harder, more challenging part of the game. Excuse me. Absolutely disgusting. All right, Haley, I'll see you tomorrow for the birthday. Sounds good. Fed Rogers says, Hellblade 2 has been confirmed to be 30 frames per second on the Series X. What are your thoughts? If it is a steady 30 frames, if it is a nice cinematic game, like the first one was, I'm okay with it. If you remember the first Hellblade, the gameplay was kind of similar to God of War at the time, only not as advanced, I would say. It had interesting puzzles, great visuals, and if it's polished and it is up to that standard, then I'm okay with it being 30 frames. If it's a fucking variable 30 frames that dips under 30 frames frequently and it makes the game annoying, unplayable, and choppy, then they've got a fucking problem. So I guess we'll see, right? What would be my ideal day off, says Han Solo? Man, my ideal day off, if I had my way, would be to not have to run any errands, to not have to do anything that's annoying, time-consuming work, but instead to just be able to spend an entire day with my wife off. And you want to know, I get to do that once a year on Christmas Day. Because on Christmas Day, I don't go grocery shopping, right? I don't go to the dump. I don't have to go get pet supplies. I don't have to go return things to stores or pick things up from places. I don't have to restock my Costco. I just have a day to spend with my wife. And that's the one day a year I get is Christmas. That's it. Every other day off that I've had, I have to run errands and do things because that's my one day off a week that I have time to do anything. So, yeah. I mean, ideally, I would love to have more time, but I just don't. You know, maybe long term I will. Jade, he says, how? Cod, Tom, P.S. Hey, B-Day, man. Happy B-Day. Just say don't see me. I feel like that didn't come through right. But I know, Jade, you've been telling me you're not going to be here this weekend because of WrestleMania stuff, right? Perfectly fine. Enjoy. I hope you do. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your WrestleMania stuff. As you know, I'm not into wrestling anymore. I don't really care about it. I'm not following it. I have no idea what's even going on at WrestleMania. If you can't make it to the birthday event tomorrow, it's all good. Have a good day, and I'll see you when you come back. Probably Monday, right? For Alone in the Dark? Okay, cool. Oh, how about Call of Duty tomorrow is what he said? Nah. If we're going to do multiplayer tomorrow, it's either going to be Helldivers 2, Street Fighter 6, or both. I'm just not interested in Call of Duty anymore at this point. It's, you know, I played it a bunch, and, you know, I'm not really, don't want to go back and play the same thing. So, thank you for the birthday wishes. All right, Derek, yeah, send me that. We'll take a look at that and figure out what it is and if it fits the format of the stream tomorrow, because I really don't understand it yet. I guess I'll look at it tonight and figure it out. Thank you. Also, just so everyone knows, some people have made me some new stuff. Like, there's a new intro to the show that no longer... You know how every time that I turn on the show and you're here live, it plays the guitar music and it shows me from like 7-8 years ago. And it says, are you ready for the stream? Someone actually made me a really nice animation to play for the start of the stream. No music. It's just a really nice animation that says, hey, you know, the stream's about to start. And I keep forgetting to put it on the goddamn stream. It's been like 3 days. I just keep forgetting. Every day I sit down, I have something else going on. I got emails to check. And then I start the show, and I'm like, ah, shit, forgot to use it again. So I'm actually going to start using it hopefully tomorrow. I got to remember to do it. So yeah, so the guitar riff is probably going to go away, and we're going to try a new intro, and you guys tell me what you think about it. Okay, but I need to remember to put it on. I keep forgetting. Hold on. Nothing there, okay. I received a $5 tip from Lady Charisma. I'm not able to watch the stream today, but I wanted to show some support. Yesterday was my wedding day. Wow. Well, I hope it went well. Congrats. I'm riding the high of that. Did you hear about the earthquake in New Jersey this morning? We felt it up here in Philly. I saw something about it on social media, but I don't really know anyone in that area anymore. So I didn't really hear anything directly about it because I don't have any you know, relatives or friends, or I don't know any Street Fighter players from that area anymore, you know what I mean? So I didn't hear any direct testimonials from anybody or anything like that. I received a $5 tip from Rigoberto. Says, I bought Rise of the Ronin. It's okay, just not as fun as I thought that it would be. I wish I would have watched some gameplay before I bought it. I don't like to be spoiled on games. Do you usually watch gameplay of a game before you buy it? Depends on the game. Like, for example, if it's a game that I absolutely know I'm going to like, then I have no reason to spoil it for myself because, you know, like, for example, likely any Resident Evil game I'm going to buy and play and I'm going to like it. I just love the franchise. I've played every one of them. I've always liked them up to now. Why wouldn't I, right? For me, if it's a game that's like a brand new IP or something I've never heard of and I'm trying to figure out if it's something up my alley that I'm interested in, then I will watch some gameplay. Typically, though, I try to do as much avoiding of being spoiled as possible before I play a new game. Because I think, like, what happens today, there's so much early information about a game, whether it's game preview streams or, you know, advanced long trailer streams, or, oh, here's a 5-minute gameplay expose segment that was leaked, or not leaked, but, you know, actually presented on purpose and stuff like that. A lot of the times, you already kind of understand everything about the game before you get it, and then the air of discovery, the feeling of, ooh, wonderment, when you're seeing something new or understanding a game system for the first time gets taken away. I feel like that's a critical part of a game that's lost to a lot of people. So many people now study these games before they're out, and by the time that they jump into the game, they already know everything about it. I feel like there's a problem there. Like, there is something, you know, skipped. At the same time, you obviously want to at least have a basic understanding of what you're spending your money on if you're dropping that kind of money on it, right? You don't want to spend $70 to get a game that's not something you like and you stop playing it in 10 hours, right? So it's kind of a mix for me. You got to find that happy medium of knowing if it's something you're going to like enough before you play it, right? Hold on, because a lot of people were saying stuff. It looks like Add the Gamer says, I think you dodged a bullet with Rise of the Ronin. I'm 45 hours in. It's a lot of repetition. It's fun, but it would probably lose attention on your streams fast. There you go. Underwater Donkey Kong says, I regret sinking 60 quid into Dragon's Dogma 2. The game got so boring so fast. What a waste. What's your biggest regret in terms of game purchases? Still to this day, I would say my biggest regret was buying the entire season pass of Batman Arkham Knight before anyone knew what Batman Arkham Knight's season pass was going to have in it. Because I thought, oh, I loved Batman Arkham Asylum. I love Batman Arkham City and all of its expansion content. I'm sure this game's going to have a ton of extra expansion content. It's totally worth the money. And I bought it, and this is almost a decade ago. I bought it, and all it was, there was like one major story-based DLC that was good. The rest was like, oh, Batmobile races and new skins and shit. And I was like, what the hell is all this junk? I'm never going to use any of that. It was a complete waste of my money. And I was like, ugh. Like, at least, what I can say is this. At least, with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which obviously would be the latest example of something that I bought the high-end edition of, I got a couple jobs that I wouldn't have had otherwise that I used the entire game. I used the linebacker and the tennis ace the whole game. I used those leveling items at the end of the game to speed up the end of my playthrough so I didn't have to grind endlessly at the end, right? So at the very least, I did get something out of it. With Batman Arkham Knight, I feel like I got nothing out of it. Like, I could have easily skipped that season pass, and, you know, and I just really blew the money on that. So, I mean, typically I don't get these expansions. Oh, you know what? All right, here's one. Street Fighter 6 Ultimate Edition is a humongous fucking ripoff because all you get extra is some of the in-game credits, and they don't buy anything you want. They're completely worthless. You can't actually buy good things with those in-game credits. There's another in-game credit system that costs real money that you need to buy the outfits. So it was a bait and switch. Everyone bought the Ultimate Edition thinking, oh, I can use these credits to get stuff in the game, and you can't use them for anything in the game. It's shit. It really is the biggest ripoff that I've seen in modern gaming. And I don't know why Capcom did that, because it really, I feel like they did everything right with the game, and that was the one thing they fucked over at the start. While other games obviously allow you to customize and do different outfits, like Tekken 8 does it completely for free. Street Fighter 6 nickel and dimes you. And I think they fucked that up. Outside of that, those are the things I can think of recently. Okay? I received another tip. Wow, you guys are very generous this morning. Another $5 tip. This one from BB Phil again. He says, we're almost at the red fedora. Can you feel it? Why do you say people don't care about you beating Justin Wong in an even final on stage? Who can claim doing that? That's a bit crazy. Because no one cares about the past. Seriously. I mean, I could sit here and tell you all kinds of different things about my Street Fighter days that were big accomplishments. No one gives a shit. Most people just say, oh, it didn't happen. Or, oh, it's old news. It doesn't matter. You know? It's true. You know, I'm not going to Street Fighter 6 tournaments and taking out Punk the God, right? Or I'm not facing the best players in the world and beating them today, so no one gives a shit about the old days. It is what it is. That's how life is, man, right? It really is. What's up, GameBoy84? How's it going today? At the Gamer says, there's talks Resident Evil 1 will get a remake like 2 through 4. Would you prefer that to 5? Yes. Like I said, I don't really think 5 is a game that badly needs a remake. Although some people disagree. I think that it's fine as it is. So I would hope that 1 will eventually get a full remake. It had a remake that was different, but it still played like the classic game. Now making a real full-on remake would be pretty neat. I'm gonna clean my mouse. Hold on. Let me turn it off. Turn it off for a second and then clean it. In the meantime, let's see. Derek, you taking off? All right. I'll see you later. What else do you guys want to chat before we adjourn here? BB Phil says, not true. Some people are making a living off of being old school legends in Super Smash Bros. Melee, talking about the old days and being a voice of the community. That's very different. I'm telling you, that's just very different from the Street Fighter community, right? Like, in my day, I was the anomaly because I was the up-and-comer. I was the upstart, the guy that no one had faith in. And then all of a sudden, in the mid-2000s, I started getting really good at Super Turbo. And I started beating the pros who had been around since the 90s playing at top levels, and I was beating them. So I was like the kind of guy, the how would you even say, like, I came out of nowhere. Yeah, I get the young gun. I guess you could say that. I was the guy who, again, online, I talked so much shit. But in person, I was a really nice guy. But I did it to try to build up hype for Street Fighter. I was okay being the heel or the villain of Street Fighter as long as it meant that it got hype into the community, and it worked. There were many events that I attended, and people were, oh man, I can't wait to see Phil get his ass beat. But then I would win, and they'd be like, oh shit, the guy actually can back up the shit that he talks online. I can't believe it. People were shocked at that. But of course, again, the narrative is written by those in power. And what I mean by that is, basically the people in charge of the Street Fighter community did not like me for various different reasons, and they basically tried to discredit me over the years. Oh, there's concrete evidence Phil's good at Super Turbo, but instead let's make excuses for why he's not good. Like, oh, it was the wrong version. Oh, we weren't there that day. Bullshit. And so I would go to the next tournament, and I would still do good. So what's the next excuse? Then I would go to the next tournament, and I would still do good. What's the next excuse? But the narrative is written by those in power, by those who are in control. And that's what happened with me, is even though I was a driving force in the Street Fighter community in the 2000s for both competitive play and also running tournaments, because I basically adapted myself into being a tournament organizer on the East Coast. I was running all kinds of shit and helping out. Any tournament I went to, I would help out to run it. And people appreciated that and respected me. But the thing is, times change. What happens is the people who were playing at that time, they don't play anymore. So they're not out to testify to this. Right? What you get is the biggest whiners and bitchers and drama queens on the internet who say, oh yeah, DSP, I hated him and he was a piece of shit. Those are the people who you still get here now online. You don't hear the people who are actually around in those circles, positive people, to say, oh yeah, DSP was a cool guy and he was great at Super Turbo and he kicked everyone's butt and he backed up what he said and he ran tournaments. Where are those people? They retired. They're not online actively talking about Street Fighter anymore. They're long past those days, right? You always hear the negative and the toxic because those are the ones who scream the loudest and want to get heard. The positive people moved on, right, with their lives. Do you really think people who played Street Fighter competitively in the mid-2000s play it that much anymore? Almost none. Very few. There are holdouts like me. You still hear from me. You still hear from guys like Justin Wong and stuff like that. But it's few and far between. Excuse me. Oh, now I clutched. I just struck my camera, so now it's probably, oh yeah, nice and off center. See here. Struck the camera by accident. Still off center. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I'm lined up with the middle. Yeah, I guess I kind of am. That good? All right. Perfect. Why do I think the FGC dislikes me so much? There's many different reasons. There's many different reasons. Because there's different eras of people, okay? Old school players who are still around and are verbose don't like me because back in the day, I was the whistleblower. I was the guy who exposed corruption. When tournaments were being basically rigged, I was the one who yelled about it. So do you think the top players who were benefiting from the tournaments being rigged liked the fact that I was the guy who talked about it? Of course not. They hated me. They were like, dude, you're blowing it for us. Why don't you shut the fuck up? I was like, because it's not right. You know, I don't care who benefits. This is fucked up that these tournaments are rigged and you get preferential treatment and all this shit is happening. It's just fucked up. It shouldn't happen. So they don't like me because of that. During the Street Fighter 4 era, a whole new group didn't like me because there were online creators on YouTube trying to get noticed for their skill in Street Fighter 4, but I was just making casualized Street Fighter 4 videos of relatively low quality of skill, but I was getting 10 times more views than they were. I was being one of the notable YouTube creators for Street Fighter 4 while the pro players weren't getting noticed, and they hated me for that. They absolutely were like, I don't get it. Why DSP? They would actually interview a pro player at a tournament. What do you think about DSP? They ask him that because I was hot for making Street Fighter content. Oh, I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know what you're talking about. What? So they would diss me because they were upset that I was popular and they weren't getting the views that I was getting. So that's another era. Now you got the Street Fighter 5 era. During the Street Fighter 5 era, I was very outspoken, saying things like, Street Fighter 5 is trash. This game has all these problems, and here they are. And I exposed the game. I even made a video that got tons of views at the very beginning of Street Fighter 5 telling people the game is trash and the FGC is basically kissing the game's butt because they know that if Street Fighter doesn't have a game in the running as a major fighting game, their community will dwindle. And they don't want to see the Street Fighter community dwindle. So they play this inferior game and praise it as if it's good when in reality they know it's not. Now, I was hated on at the time and everyone dumped on me for making that video at the beginning of Street Fighter 5. Last year, Street Fighter 6 comes out, the entire FGC dumps on Street Fighter 5. Oh yeah, that game was bad all along. But I said that when it came out, and you just crapped on me because you all cared more about your own popularity, your own profits on the videos and the streams and the tournaments than actually admitting the game sucked. But now that the new one's out that's better, now you can say it sucked. So each generation of Street Fighter, I'm the one who's outspoken and honest, and I'm the one who gets crapped on every single time. Now, of course, what they'll say is they'll lie and say, well, the reason we really don't like Phil is because he's toxic when he plays Street Fighter Online. Nobody cares about me being toxic playing Street Fighter Online. Everyone is toxic playing Street Fighter Online. Back in the day, literally everyone was toxic at every single tournament and every single arcade. That's what it was. Like I said, it used to be like almost like getting initiated into a college fraternity, like a good old boys club. Like the shit talking and shit was part of the fun. That literally was part of the experience of playing competitive Street Fighter. It was commonplace. It wasn't I was the only one doing it. Literally, I learned it from others. Okay? So that's just their scapegoat bullshit to try to say, oh, here's the reason we don't like DSP. In reality, they don't like me because they know that at any given moment, I'm not beholden to Capcom or Street Fighter. I can say whatever I want, and it doesn't matter. Because I don't have to worry about, I lost a sponsorship, I lost a partnership, I can't stream a tournament anymore. Oh no, no one will watch my tutorial videos on this new character. Because I don't give a fuck about that. I'm honest and transparent, and people don't like that. They want butt kissers. They want people who will always say the nice thing about the new game and get the big plug and get the money, and then they say, get that bag. I don't understand. Why doesn't Phil just get that bag? Right? Because I've never been like that. I never will be like that. They hate that. They want me to be another cog in the machine, and I refuse to do it. So they keep me over here as the black sheep. And it's hilarious because how many times have I said over the years, I'm not part of the FGC, yet the FGC can never shut the fuck up about me. People in the FGC making videos and shit about me. The scrub mentality. You're the fucking scrub. You made a video about someone who's not part of the FGC. I literally keep telling you I have no desire to play the games competitively at any high level. So why the fuck do you make a video about me except you're a fucking loser? Right? That's it. They won't shut up. They never will. They literally never will. Anyway. That's about it. Spawn Killer, what's going on? $2 super chat. He says, Nerd Josh is on Twitch and still active. That's awesome. He's a great guy. Nerd Josh was always a super cool guy. Used to hang out with him all the time and go to tournaments and stuff. In fact, Nerd Josh was someone who in the early 2000s, I used to hang out with and play Street Fighter in Connecticut. Capcom vs. SNK2 was the one that he was always heavily into, and he was always incredibly good at it. And then he got into other games like Guilty Gear and stuff like that that I didn't get into. No, I mean, like, seriously, the people who I used to hang out with, first of all, the Connecticut players, all retired. There's seriously not a single Connecticut player left playing at a competitive level who I used to hang out with back in the day. They all retired and moved on to have their own lives, so they're done. You wouldn't be able to talk to them about me because they don't exist anymore in the community, nor do they want to be associated with it. If you want to talk about the other people, I was on a team called Team Hate. It included players like Nestor, also known as Koruchado Online, Tony Barnhill, Paul Wall, and many others from this area of like Massachusetts, New Jersey, Connecticut, and I'm trying to remember where the Tokyo Game Action arcade was. I've forgotten now where it was, in that area. And that was a group of people who we were always traveling together and playing together and respecting each other. And like I said, I ran tons of tournaments in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. I would travel to run these tournaments. Literally, these people don't play anymore, or they're out of the community. Some of them have passed away. There's no one left from that era to come out and be like, yeah, Phil was awesome, because I'm the only one who's around making content online anymore. You know, the more prominent players like Justin Wong, I was never in the circles Justin Wong was. He was the New York circles. I wasn't really into the Chinatown Fair players and stuff like that. That was all fucking Empire Arcadia shit, which we were rivals with them and we didn't like them, you know? So that's why you guys, well, let's ask Justin Wong about Darkside Phil. He's not going to know. He wasn't hanging out with me. You know, we were completely different circles. Exactly. It was like rival arcades. You're right. Certain group of players would be rivals with another group of players, and so we'd always be at odds, right? Any chance we'll bring back member nights for Street Fighter 6? How about we just fucking play Street Fighter 6 first? Right? How about we get back into the swing of things of Street Fighter 6? We see if I can get back to playing it, liking it, you know, getting readjusted to it before we start setting up elaborate nights with players, right? See, BB Phil, here's the thing. The people who watch my content don't care about old school Street Fighter, right? You guys know me from this YouTube era, you know, the 2010s into now the 2020s. If I did, let's say when I said tonight I'm going to do open night where all we do is talk about old school Street Fighter, and I'd like people from the old days to come on, no one would. No one even, I'm telling you, like, no one would be around to even join and talk or nothing. No one cares. That's what I mean. It's just a different era. And again, the people who write history are the ones who are in power. So when you hear about that era of 1990s, 2000 Street Fighter, you'll always hear about West Coast. You'll hear about the California players and shit like that. Why? Because the people who ran the events, like Evo, were West Coast people. So you'll always hear them say, oh, this is what was happening back then. Well, you know, there was a whole other country of people, right, who existed. Why is it that we only hear the history from this one small group? Right? Because those are the only people who are still into it. You know what I'm saying? That's why. They're the only people who are still into it. Everyone else moved on. You guys like the lore? There's so many things. And the thing is, as we talk about this stuff too, I tend to remember more that I've completely forgotten about, right? I do. Like, I'll remember all of a sudden a new story or something new that was going on. And by the way, even though half the time when we talk about this, I talk about controversies, I talk about things that were going on that were not kosher, there's tons of positive things too. I want you to understand that. Like, I wouldn't have been involved in this community if there weren't great stories and things that happened that were very fun and positive and interesting. Okay? I would have never, the whole thing was just a fucking bunch of bullshit, I wouldn't have been involved in it. It's a big chapter of my life. No, it's true. The East Coast history has mostly been forgotten by the FGC, almost 100%. There was the whole era of Eddie Lee and stuff like that that people never talk about anymore. That was before my time, before I was prominent. There was people who were super duper good, people act like they never existed. It's fucked up. No, I did not see Liza P is getting a DLC. If it is, that's cool. I would be interested in it for sure, but I did not hear that. All right, everybody. I think it's time to wrap things up here. I know people want to see Elden Ring rather than hear me gab all day, right? Excuse me. I'd be more than happy at a later date to reminisce and talk about Street Fighter if you would like. I guess we'll see. But for now, I think it's time to wrap up the show. Thanks. Great podcast today. Obviously, insane support before we even booted the game. Thank you for that. Excited for progress in Elden Ring. Excited for Street Fighter 6 tonight. Okay, really am. All right, thank you guys. I hope you all had a good time with me here on the Level 1 podcast. Tomorrow, I'm sure I'll be telling you about birthday stuff, because tomorrow's my birthday and we're doing a fun marathon together. So I hope you'll join me for it, and we'll probably talk together about all of that stuff, fun stuff. But in the meantime, please have a safe and fun day. If you hang out with me today, thanks so much. If not, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for the birthday bash. All right, thank you guys, and see you Saturday.